Professor, what are you seeing from the Trump Xi summit so far in relation to what it means for Taiwan?
Xi Jinping or his delegations, as the U.S. delegation directed that. I mean, if Taiwan issue is not properly managed, this could cause like conflict on both sides, or which is not welcoming on both from the U.S. or from Chinese perspective. But they didn't really talk about the U.S. response. Marco Rubio also stated that the U.S. policy on China on Taiwan has not been changed. So I think the United States has standing a very firm ground that Taiwan is not a topic to be discussed. But I think the U.S. position is very straightforward. They are not taking Taiwan as a bargaining chips. It's not something that they're going to negotiate with China. So from Taiwan's perspective, what we can take from this is U.S. support or U.S. position on Taiwan has not been changed, and it's likely will not be changed in the foreseeable future.
There's a big emphasis on the US side about China buying more American agricultural products. Now, why is this so important to the US? And can Xi Jinping use those business goals as leverage to achieve his own goals for Taiwan?
When Trump talked about trade, he always talked about it has to be fair, it has to be equal, which means if you have trade deficit, you have to buy our stuff, right? And what's the most powerful and non-sacrificing goods that the United States would like to sell to China? Soybeans and beef. If we think about whether the United States want to sell those high-tech microchips, GPUs, and those AI servers to China, the answer is probably no, because they don't want to lose in this AI competition with China. Xi Jinping has a lot of a tool that will be able to persuade Trump to use Taiwan as a as an item of negotiation. But the security of the first island chain, the peace of the Taiwan Strait, is U.S. national interest. It's not something that can be negotiable, because this is to the U.S. perspective, this is about the survivability of U.S. hegemon in the Eastern Front.
Politico recently came out with an article that pointed out that there are less China hawks in the second Trump administration. Does this show Trump softening his stance on Beijing?
Marco Rubio is probably one of the top China hawks that I have observed in the U.S. political realm, and he's serving as the Secretary of State. So how would how would we deduct a conclusion that China is softening its, I mean, softening its policy and strategies toward China? And if we see the actual operations, I mean, the U.S. policy toward China has been actually pretty hawk. I mean, on the tariff, on the technology competitions, and on the security parameters around the so-called the East Asia region, or the Indo-Pacific area. I mean, even beef up Japan to actually to side with United States, side with Taiwan to compete. I mean, to actually further deter against China. I don't see any softball here.